Beautiful way to start things. A giant cough.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Anybody out there? We'll give you a minute to join in.
Yeah.
We're trying a new device here. Tegan went off and got some kind of microphone thing attached to the computer that we hope will do a better job at picking us up, making sure you can hear us okay.
Well, that and hopefully not picking up all the 12 billion grandchildren that are in the other room playing.
Hey, tell us, those of you that are out there, tell us if you hear us and if you hear us clearly. If you're hearing a lot of background noise or not, let us know so that we can know if this microphone is working the way we hope it is. Good evening, Amanda. Can you hear us okay? Anybody out there?
Did you guys do like a ton of questions last time?
Yeah, we did a bunch of questions. You are clear and very little background noise. Thank you very much, Amanda. That's terrific. Because I think we have 2 grandkids, a friend of
you have 3 grandkids.
3 grandkids.
A friend of one of the grandkids is over playing with them, and then probably a few more.
And my daughter-in-law and her friend and my wife, all in the other room making noise. So we'll yell at them to quiet down if it gets too bad. But if you're hearing us okay, then we're doing great.
Yeah, well, we can turn it up. It's only on like half. So
it's only on half.
We can turn it higher.
Well, I project,
You do have that problem.
Yeah. All right. Okay, they can hear us clear down in Houston.
Yes. You're super loud in Houston.
Yeah. All righty.
I guess we can give people a minute. Let's see what's happened this week.
Sounds great. And I have a question. I'm helping a sister in my ward who wants to do her father's temple work. He was baptized, but on family search, the baptism and confirmation are missing. And it says, this person's ordinance status is not available. Mm. Yes.
Please contact
Family Search support. What's going on there? Barbara, this is for you, Barbara Jensen. The issue there is a duplicate of her parents somewhere in the system. So you need to check and make sure there's no possible duplicates showing up. And you may actually want to go do a find and put in the husband or the wife, the mother or the father's names, and then see what comes back. So that means that there's another copy of them somewhere, probably their membership record version. And you just need to do that search. And they have you call support because they can go and take a peek in there and see where that PID may be. But if you do some searching, you might be able to find it yourself and then just merge it together and it'll all show up.
And wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Yep.
It'll be all fixed. Well, glad to see your daughter is back. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
It's all because Jarrett moved away to Logan to go to school, so I get to come back.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. He was with me last time. No, he wasn't.
Mom did it with you last time, and then I did it the time before.
Yeah.
So.
All righty. Well, let's get started.
You want to jump right in?
Yeah, jump right in.
Is there anything new and exciting happening in the family search?
No, we talked about it last week.
World.
We talked about it last week. Ordinances Ready on your mobile phone.
Mm-hmm.
And that will, you click it on your temple list on the mobile phone, and it will walk up your tree several generations and down and try to find any particular ordinances you're interested in having to take to the temple. It's a way to help people have a quick win. And it can help consultants because you can, first visit could be go to their home and get them to install the app and talk to them a little about family history, ask them what their goals are, and then get them registered. You can get them registered. You don't have to necessarily download the app for them, but just get them registered, see what their goals are. And then you go back home and then you get prepared for your next lesson and you just you go in helper mode and push Ordinances Ready. Now you got ordinances to give them without spending a ton of time trying to find them. And then you can teach them something else that day, the next time you come back. So I think it'll help consultants. Our goal is to try to have everybody have a positive experience at finding a related name they can take to the temple. That's the goal. And on the it'll be on the website by we're trying to be done before the end of the year on the website. So it'll be there as well.
So 2.5 months.
Well, we're going to try to beat that schedule.
The clock is ticking.
Well, there's Jarrett.
Jarrett's here. He's in town.
Yeah, he's coming for a business meeting he has at his work tomorrow.
Hello, everybody.
That and Kellen is coming up from Las Vegas to visit us to go do some Halloween pumpkin patch goodness. So it's like a whole family reunion this weekend. So.
I'm not gonna get anything done.
I'm curious. Maybe I'm the only one. How was the flow with conference this weekend?
Flow?
Did you guys get like slammed on family search?
Yeah, but we're fine. We don't have any problem anymore with that.
Mm.
Nah.
Okay.
Let's see. Pat said, I have a question. Is there any hope that all the stories will be available again? I understand it can't be accessed since the recent redo. It was such a valuable tool when we did trainings for our Family History Center.
Also find a
record. Yeah. Well, we told all of our partners that they needed to make some changes and that we were changing the interfaces to them. Mm-hmm. And some of them, didn't jump right on that and get that working. So they're kind of stuck right now. They have to make their changes in order to join in. Yeah, to integrate back in again. So unless they've decided not to do anything, I've seen the message on Find a Record and there was, I don't think it was all stories we looked at today. I have another one, but we're trying to help these partners come along and tell them what they have to change. And they've had months and months to do it, but I guess they didn't think it was ever going to happen, but it did. So you just need to call them up and encourage them to make that connection again.
Not anything you can control. It's
nothing I can do about it.
The other company that
That's right.
That you're waiting on.
Right. We had to change some of our interfaces for specific reasons, and we told them about it. We gave them how to do it. We gave them like 3 or 4 months to do it, and they could test it and all that. And some of them just didn't get them done. So okay, let's go.
All right, let's dive in. Okay, our first question tonight comes from Lisa. She wants to know, can you explain what to do with a spouse that has a question mark as a name?
Yes.
The temple work appears to be done, and there are no children with this particular couple.
All right. The temple work was done?
She says the temple work appears to be done, and there are no children with this particular
Well, I'd like to know the PID for that. I suspect the only temple work that's done is a sealing the spouse or something like that. What if a person with just a question mark as a name almost always has come from extraction and mostly extraction, or somebody entered in a family and they didn't put all the names in. Actually, in New Family Search, in the old system, you didn't have to have a name of a person, and you could do sealing the parents to that person because mother is sufficient for sealing the parent to a mom. So what you need to do is just research the family and see who's the correct spouse. I'm assuming it's a spouse. And fill it in, and it's fine. The ordinances are still valid because that was done properly, and away you go. But that's we took any people that didn't have a name in New Family Search. When we moved them into Family Tree, we had to have a name because Family Tree requires a name.
Right.
And so we put a question mark in there, and the reason we put question mark is because it's universal. All languages and all countries have the same meaning for question mark. So we didn't have to write special code to say it in 10 different languages. We just put a question mark and it works for everybody.
Universal language.
Yeah, it was a universal symbol, so that's why we chose that.
All right. Okay. Next one comes from Jen. She wants to know, I love the new Ordinances Ready feature on the app. However, I noticed that the sealing results do not check to verify the previous ordinances are complete. For example, when I request sealing to spouse cards, my results contain couples who had not yet been endowed. I thought the ordinance should be done in order. Is this a bug that, or does this order not matter so much anymore?
Well, all right, you're welcome. Have a good night.
You're good. No worries.
Bye-bye. So, the Temple have asked us, and if you'll notice on the printout when you print the cards, it says whenever possible, do them in the proper order. We got a report of this during the week, and we're reviewing it. We currently don't stop that from being reserved or being done even today. It's just encouraged. So I think that that's up to you. It doesn't hurt to do it. But we always want to try to do it in the right order if we can. If somebody else has that reserved, there's nothing you can do about it. Then I would go ahead and proceed. If that ordinances are available when you check the person, then reserve them and do them in the proper order. So, and then we'll continue to work to decide if we're going to do anything, and if we do, what we'll do. But that will happen because you were looking for sealing the spouses, and they were available because they can be done out of order. But we're supposed to try hard not to do it out of order. But we're not enforcing the order.
It's fine. You're totally fine. Don't even worry about it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
All right. Keith says, when you refresh the descendancy view with 4 generations showing, why does it default back to 1 generation view?
I wouldn't think that should do that. Type that one up and send it to me, and I'll get that to the team. It should stay at the same level that you chose.
Refresh descendants. I'm gonna
Descendant view.
See view with.
You can't copy and paste it off of Facebook?
I can't. It only shows me a certain amount of questions.
Oh.
Because it's not live on my computer. Because it's too small for you.
Too slow for you?
No, you don't like it because it's too small. You can't read
No, but
the
you
question.
could copy and paste it from there.
I can only see a certain amount of questions.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, slow but relentless in Arizona.
Yeah, cousin Dave.
Okay, Lori says many of the names I receive on Ordinances Ready are linked to my tree through very questionable research or sources that have been completely incorrect. Is anything being done to check on this?
No, the only thing we're checking with Ordinance Ready is we're checking to see if they're greater than 110 years old. There's no data problems on it. So if it has a data problem like, it has a mother or the person died before they were alive, before they were born, things like that, then we'll stop that. And we're checking to see if it qualifies. And qualification doesn't require any sources. And that's the way it's been for qualification because many parts of the world don't have sources. So we're just doing what would be normal. And if you went to that person, even though the sources were there and they weren't correct and stuff, you could push the button and reserve the person. So we're just depending on the person and those qualification rules. So we're always re-examining the qualification rules. We actually just went through a review of the temple department. We're probably going to add some more qualification standards that'll be necessary for it to qualify. But since many parts of the world have no sources, for example, then we can't require sources at the moment. So
okay. Leonard wants to know, will the fan chart ever show more than 4 generations? I know when printing it will print up to 6. It would be nice to click further generations without moving a person to the main person.
Yes, the answer is yes. We're working on a new version of the fan chart.
Cool.
I think it's going to be out before the end of the year. And it will actually, for those of you who have gone to the consultant planner, it's going to be like the consultant planner in that you can say, show me who has stories, show me who has photos, show me who has, let's see what else. I can't remember what it all is. But you'll be able to pick different, the birth countries of everybody. It'll show all that. And it will also expand to 7 generations, this new fan chart.
Oh.
So we're going to go, and you'll be able to select what you want, 4, 5, 6, or 7 generations. And it'll continue to expand out. And then you'll be able to click those buttons like show me birth countries, show me who has pictures, who has stories, who has
Cool.
stuff like that. So it's going to be really good. You're going to love it. And we hope have that out before the end of the year. So
Okay.
stick around. It's coming.
Stick around. Let's see. Any good ways to indicate a twin, especially those who may have died without a name?
Yeah, what some people do, there's not a good way to say it's a twin. So what some people say is they put it in their reason statement. Some people put it in the name, which probably blocks qualification. So just put it in there and then make a note of it that it's twin, the first twin.
Okay.
And so people, and make sure you take the two twins and put a not a match between them so that people don't try to merge them together. And you can put the reason why is because they were actually individual births, but they were twins, and
One passed.
that died, or one died, or both died, or whatever.
Okay.
Remember, those infant children don't have to have any ordinances except for sealing a parent, which is appropriate to do.
Okay. All right. Linda.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you're right.
sorry.
Ordinance Ready also checks for duplicates. Thank you. I couldn't remember what it was, Diane. Thank you for reminding me.
Oh, yeah.
Checks for duplicates.
And David, will it show ordinances available? Yes. Oh, the fan chart.
Oh, the fan chart.
Will it show
No,
it?
not yet.
Not yet.
No.
Is that a feature that might be
we're
coming?
trying to figure it out because there's just not enough room in there
Those
to
are
show
little
a,
teeny
to
squares.
show a temple icon. So
Yeah.
it's not clear whether we're going to do that.
All right.
But maybe we could do it with the colors. I don't know.
Well, maybe if you do like by country and they all highlight with countries, maybe you could do ordinances ready and they all highlight.
They highlight ordinances.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's an
Maybe.
idea. I'll take that back.
Wow,
Better give me my next question while you're typing away.
you were sassy.
We have a lot of questions, I
tonight.
think, in the list.
Not that many.
Okay.
I mean, we have a good chunk, but I think it's not as many as you think. Okay. Linda says, using the mobile app Ordinances Ready, would it be possible for the program to ask if you want the system to look for a male or a female name? For instance, if you're on your way to the temple with your spouse and they don't know their password, but you could see if something would be done, or perhaps a youth needs a name and you could pull one up for them.
Well, our intention for Ordinance Ready is to make it an individual thing. And so, no, we don't have any plans to allow a female user to look for male names, because we're not trying to fill up someone's reservation list. This is intended for that person to have a personal experience in finding an ordinance for a relative. So we have no plans to do that. You will just have to remember your husband's password and tell him how to type it in. And,
or get some nifty program like LastPass that remembers everybody's password and use that and log into his.
What might be interesting, I'll have to send, this is one you can send to me. It might be interesting to see if the mobile team can hook into the fingerprint stuff.
Oh.
Because if we can do fingerprint, that's usually remember your fingerprint, but you don't remember your password. So maybe I wonder if we can hook into that sometime.
Okay.
But we're not trying to do it for you can hand out ordinances. So this is for personal, you need an ordinance for yourself kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay. Barbara wants to know, when you request a name in the Ordinance Ready, does the program look for the name that has been reserved the longest?
It does not. Ordinance Ready's goal is to, so she asked, I guess they probably heard you. So Ordinance Ready goal is to give you the best opportunity to find somebody that you might know. We want to get somebody close to you. So we try to find the closest person to you, the closest generation to you, and give you that one. So we're trying to find somebody that you may have had a chance to know, or somebody that your parents may have told you about, and not go way back to wherever to see who's been waiting the longest. So we do it based on how close they are to you in the tree.
Okay. Amy wants to know, the standardized date function is a little finicky. Any plans to make it easier to get the date into a standardized form?
Well, finicky doesn't help me describe things very well.
She says, what I mean by finicky is sometimes you have to go back and type the date again if you got off the page before hitting the standardized date, since it's common to go back and forth between tabs. It's kind of a pain.
Don't type so fast. I don't know what to tell you there.
Okay.
If you're typing really fast, certainly it can be fast enough to, because remember, we're trying to do the pull down list to help you pick. And so that's really touchy. If you're a real fast typist, you can end up, you want to say 1948 or something like that. You have a 1948 and then got the 194. By then you've already tabbed off. And so the date is 194 AD, that's like a long time ago.
Yeah.
And so you just have to be a little more patient there on that.
Go slow with the dates.
That's right. You need to do it. You got a little water in your nose. There you go. I appreciate your hydration. But
I'm trying to stay hydrated so I can stick with you.
yeah.
You're such a little Energizer bunny.
Go.
All right. Maureen wants to know more possible suggestions maybe than questions, but one, it would be nice when the standardization that the reason category would be an automatic drop-down choice or something like that. And then two, it would be nice to have
In
some
what
way
place?
in your
Standardization?
in the drop-down to have maybe like a
They don't want to type in the reason.
no that a reason category could be an automatic drop-down, so they could choose reason and then enter their reason.
No, they can choose an answer for reason.
Oh, okay.
Standardized, so they don't have to type it in.
Oh, and then it would be nice if you had some way to keep track of the generation that you are on.
Do people really know what generation? Do people really tell me? Do people really care or want or know? I mean, does it mean something to say you're 15 generations away? I mean, does that mean something? Most people are like, oh, okay. I get it if it's like 3 or 4 generations, but usually you can see that right there. So help me know. I understand. Let me know. She's suggesting that we let you, or whoever it was. Who was it?
Maureen.
Marine, about knowing what generation you are on. So just let me know. I never felt like that was particularly important. It is in some cultures, like Chinese or some Korean or so. They have generations mean a lot because their records are japus, which have honored ancestor and so forth. Mm. So it's real important to know how many generations you are as a descendant of some Confucius or something like that. But hadn't really considered that for Western world. And then what was the first part? Oh, a drop-down automatic thing. It just doesn't feel good to me to have a drop-down choice so I don't have to type it in, right? So what if it's not one of those choices? And you'd be like, I don't want to type it. I'll just pick one. So I just don't want people to get in the habit of,
we don't want you to get lazy.
Give me 50 choices because I don't like the other 49. If you do it a lot, then type it. What I do is if I have something I'm doing a lot of repetitive, I'll open up the notepad or some word processing thing, and I'll type my stuff in, and then I'll copy it and I'll just paste it.
Like
I'll do another one, paste it, and do another, copy it, paste it, so I don't have to type it. So
makes sense.
So that's what I do.
Okay.
Hey, Grandpa.
Yeah.
We thought you might like to show off Squirt.
Oh, here is.
This is my newest grandson, here.
This is the baby.
This is Ford.
Can you say hi?
Say hi.
We're going to smile.
Hey, Ford. This is my newest grandkid.
Hi.
Can you wave hi, Ford?
Can you go like that? See?
He does.
Wave. Say hi. Can you wave?
He says, no, I'm going to wave.
He's like, can I touch all the keys on the computer? That's what I want to do.
They're just getting ready to leave.
Oh, okay.
Oh, are you going to go home, go to bed? Yeah. Is it night time?
Make his debut.
Yeah, there you go. His first time on video.
First time on the video screen.
33 people out there looking at him.
Woo woo! You're a celebrity now, Ford.
All right, Ford. Okay, I'm done.
I'm done.
He's like, and that's
He's had his moments.
Oh, you did like that?
Oh, did you like that?
He doesn't want to go.
Yeah.
I mean,
put
it's
me
pretty,
in the camera,
it's pretty
Dad.
Cool.
Grandpa, put me on. All right, well, there you go.
Okay.
That's my newest. How old is he, Erica?
He's
11 months.
He'll be
11 months and 2 days.
Almost 11 months.
a year in November.
Year in November. So. Cutie little boy. He's a happy kid. He's always happy, that boy.
Okay, let's see.
Will the mobile app, Pat says, will the mobile app give you a name of a person to whom you are related that has been temple reserved by someone else, but not yet printed by a temple? The answer is not at this time. However, we will eventually do that. I would phrase it just a little bit different, Pat. It's not. It says related that has been temple reserved. Okay, shared with the temple. So we are going to do that. Right now, it just walks the tree is all it does, and finds green temples in the tree. But pretty soon, before the end of the year, we're also going to give you names from the temple, but we're not going to look and see if you're related to them. We're just going to get the oldest name because we have to do some more work to be able to figure out how you're related to people that have been shared to the temple list. And that'll take us another 3 months to figure that out, to get that done.
Sure.
Once we'll have that done, so sometime early next year, first half of next year, we'll be handing out ones straight from the temple reservation list that you are related to. So if somebody shares, let's say they share baptism and confirmation and initiatory, and the initiatory is available, meaning that the baptism and confirmation are done, and you say, give me initiatories, we'll look first in your tree to see if there's something there. Then we're going to look at the ones you shared with the temple, and then we'll look at related in the temple reservation list, or in the overall temple list, and give that to you. And then if not, then we'll give you one that is unrelated or not. You may still be related, but we only go up so many generations. If it's beyond that generation, we don't double check it, but we give you someone off the temple reservation list that's not within that generational level. So yeah, we will be doing that. The Ordinance Ready doesn't do it now, but we think we'll be able to have that done before the end of the year, where we're handing out something to the temple, from the temple to you. And then next year, we'll get the related person from the temple list.
So we can try to, is the goal to kind of like, so hopefully shrink that huge temple pot that's like ever growing.
Well, yeah, that's okay.
Shrinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
But more often than not, I want to give you someone that's related in that list.
Well, yeah, no,
maybe somebody's reserved it and sent it to temple and's been sitting there for years.
I understand. What I'm just saying is that the goal is to help that list shrink. So Larry says, oh, okay. So knowing generations is important to her.
That's because she's Korean. And that's so the CJK, the Koreans
thing.
and the Japanese, less so, I think. It's Koreans and Chinese and Taiwanese and stuff. That's very important. And we are working on a view that will be usable. We are really just in early stages of consideration. We haven't decided if we're going to do it or not, where we'll actually allow you to see generations like that.
That'd be cool.
Because we need it for our friends in Korea and our friends in China that we're working on.
Sure.
But we haven't decided how we're going to do it or when or anything, so I can't do it anymore and just tell you we're thinking about it.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
What's next?
All right. So Elaine wants to know, why did you move sources off of the detail page? While looking at the family, I loved going down to the sources below the family to prove the whole family or to see who is missing. Now I have to click back to sources until the top of the page. It's just more clicks.
Yeah, we agree. We did it because we did not want, because it's actually going to be better. I know you don't like it, but you're going to love it eventually. It's one of these, and I'm not trying to sell you a snow view or anything like that. You're really going to love it.
Okay, so why is it better?
We did it because it is always faster. That's why people ran off and they tried to figure out, how can I open 2 tabs? It's always faster to go back and forth 2 tabs when you're doing that comparison than it is to scroll down, scroll back up, remember what you did or write it down, scroll down, scroll back up, and just flip back and forth really fast. It's just really great and easy to do. The problem, you're leaving?
It's okay.
Okay.
He's
So this
fine.
is my other grandson.
Do you want to come say hi next? Do you want to say hi to everybody? You want to? No?
No.
He's like, no, I'm shy. Do you want to say hi?
Yeah, there he is.
So wave hi.
Come a little closer. This is Nixon.
Say hi. This is Nixon. This is
the older brother to the other one.
older brother, huh?
See you, Nixon.
We'll see you later.
Thanks for coming over.
See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye. See you, Erica.
Have a good night.
So
Okay.
where was I? Oh,
We
yeah.
were talking about sources being moved off the
Yeah.
detail
So
page.
the
Why
problem,
is that a
the
thing?
problem now is that, and we're reworking the source tab.
Okay.
So the problem now is that you look at the person and then you go to you look at the person and then you go to the sources tab, and then you scroll down and you look at the source. Then you have to scroll back up and then you click to go back over to this thing here, right? And so that makes it horrible. It's worse than anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the menu sticky on the top, so you don't have to scroll up.
Okay.
Once we do that, then you can scroll the sources down to where you want the source, then click the button to flip back to the family. And it'll also stay where you left it. So once we have that, and they're working on it, I don't know when they're going to be done exactly, but they're working on it right now. Once they get that done, then you'll be able to flip back and forth between the two tabs just as fast as you want. And then you scroll that one up a little bit or this one up a little bit to get another source, and boom, 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 boom. Then up a little bit, and boom, 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 boom.
Okay, let me understand. So when you're saying in between the two tabs, are you saying that you're
Between the vitals tab and the sources tab.
okay? So it's going to be like a split screen essentially,
No,
or
no.
oh, you can just go in between the tabs.
It's like clicking two tabs on Chrome.
Oh, okay.
You click a tab, you look at it, then you click the other tab, and look at
staying
it.
inside of Family Search,
That's
not
right.
using Chrome tabs.
That's right. You're not
Okay.
using Chrome tabs.
Okay.
Okay, so you're gonna like it. Hold on a little minute on
Okay.
it. Trust me.
Okay.
You'll love it.
Whew, okay. Linda wants to know, I've received emails from Family Search about having family members interested in helping me with my temple reservations.
Yeah.
My question is, if I have some of those that I have researched, had a special experience with, and want to make sure I do their names, is there a way to let Family Search know that I don't want them to take those names from me and give them to others who may want to help me with my temple reservations?
All right. First off, no one's going to take it from you at all. This is all your choice. So this is a new. It's a campaign that the campaign folks,
The marketing team.
production team is what we call them.
Okay.
They came up with as a way to help engage others who can't find ordinances in their trees, but they're related to you. And they look for people who have a certain amount of reservations on their reservation list. And what they do is they sent one email to a set of people who haven't submitted in quite some time. And they found out how they were related to the people on the ancestors on your reservation list. And they asked them, would you be willing to help somebody else do some ordinances of your related ancestors? And if they said yes, then we turned around and sent a campaign to you that said, there are some relatives of yours, and we checked how they're related. You can actually see how they're related. And here's some of you, some relatives who are willing to help you take these ordinances and get them done to the temple. Now, I've heard stories where they share it and people just put it on the temple list, things like that. So you have to be kind of leery, but you don't have to do anything. If they send that email to you, you can just move on your way and never click the button. Because if you never go to the landing page and click, yes, share it with this person, yes, share it with this person, then it will never move to that person. So it'll stay on your list. So don't feel obligated, but there may be somebody on your list that you don't have that personal connection with all the way, and you're willing to let somebody else have that opportunity. But Family Search is not going to take anything away. Okay.
Okay, so the menu bar will be frozen in place. Would it be easier to have a drop down to the different vitals to show the sources for that vital info?
Well, there's really not much difference between a drop down and a thing, because the drop down would have to stick somewhere on the page.
Right.
So it's just as easy to take the regular menu and leave it, and it'll squeeze down, and you'll be able to scroll up the sources, and the sources so the menu will be like a one-liner thing, and the sources will go behind it. So the sources will scroll up, and the menu will kind of stay at the very top couple of lines. So I think it'll be just as effective, and you can just click it quickly. Rather than clicking and have to scroll down and pick something in the list, you just click the left vital, click the third one for sources or whatever. You'll be going like lightning fast. Lightning.
Cat-like reflexes.
And if that still doesn't work, then you can open the sources in a different tab. Right mouse click on the source link, and it'll open it in another tab on your Chrome, and you can do the same thing.
Okay. Stephanie wants to know, I'm a consultant helping a new convert with her family history. She's not able to see the ordinances or the reserved temple names that we've gathered from her person page. I can see them when I log in to help her. Seems like she has 3 different ID numbers. She's called Salt Lake twice and nothing has been resolved. I was able to merge 2 of the ID numbers, but she still can't see the ordinances on her person page. What can we do?
She can't see ordinances on her person page.
So my guess is she's created multiple accounts.
Yeah.
And one of them does not have a membership record number.
Yep.
Or one of them does, or
she probably created 3 accounts, and none of them have membership records on them. You have to have an MRN on the account in order to see ordinances.
okay, so what
So
is
this
the best
person, whoever it is,
Stephanie.
So Stephanie, I don't know if you're out there, you're going to need to send me an email, ron@familysearch.org. Give me the details of this. She probably submitted cases, so get me case numbers. And then I'll take a closer look at it and see if we can't get that fixed for you. But I'm sure what it is if she can't see ordinances, then she either has them turned off in her settings or she hasn't entered her MRN into the account.
So
we need
it's
to make it a
treating
member
her
account.
like a non-member.
That's right.
So she can't see ordinances.
That's right.
Okay. Look at this. I should go teach one of your conferences.
Oh yeah.
I'm so proficient.
You can do it. You can do it. And they get the tough question and just smile.
I'm just gonna go, I do genealogy.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. Okay. Next question comes from Julie. She says, is it possible to make the words at the top of memories, sources, and temple blue so that people know that they can click on those words? Thank you for the new formatting changes. Seniors I teach seem to struggle when things are collapsed or hidden and they don't know where to click. The new changes have addressed that very well.
Oh, well, thank you. That's good. I think that's a reasonable suggestion. We ought to send, I'll take a copy of that and email it to me. Because they are links. So I guess but traditionally, I don't think our menus are colored. So we have a standard that we follow, and I think the menus aren't colored, so that's why they're not blue. But
maybe there can be something that you can do.
Maybe
to
there's something we can do.
I don't know. Okay. Karen would like to know. I really love the copy PID that you now have included in most of Family Search. However, the feature is not included when adding individuals from the census from attached historical records to Family Tree. Would that be possible? That feature is awesome.
Yeah, send that one to me too. Before I would have said no, but now that group reports to me, so we can probably work on getting them that function.
Look at this. How's that going, by
What
the way?
is all those purple names?
These are the ones that we've answered today. So
how are you going to know whether to email it to me or not? You put a little note next to it?
This is how I keep track of things.
Mm-hmm.
There's tabbies down here.
Yeah, I didn't see you tab anything.
One of these tabbies says, questions to send Ron.
And you put that in there already?
I did.
The one about the color and the copy pit? Oh, man, you're too fast.
I'm like lightning speed around here.
All right, Warren says, on the detail page, can we get a gear for rearranging in order of sections and the light bulb back, please? I didn't realize the light bulb was gone.
Do you want me to
We're
say?
struggling with knowing whether to do light bulb or walk me and stuff like that. So I'll go talk to. I gotta go work on that help stuff and see where we are. The gear. Let me tell you what we're thinking. The gear has a lot of power users like it, and but the problem is when somebody uses it and they rearrange things, and then they call support, then support has a hard time supporting them because they say, "Well, go to the top of your screen and you'll see the life sketch. Look at the one just below that called vitals." And everybody goes, "Huh? I don't see a life sketch at the top," because they forgot that they rearranged it. And so it becomes a support problem. So what we're thinking, and you can respond to this and tell me whether you think it's good or not, is what we're thinking about is giving you your own personal tab. So you'll be able to have a tab and it'll be called something like my tab or something like that, or my tab, or my, I don't know, we don't know what to call it yet. And then you could choose anything you want to put in that tab. You could say, well, I like family members first, and I like sources right next to it, and I like this other thing after that. And you could put all that stuff, anything from the other tabs. I think we'll still keep ordinances all in their own, but all the other stuff you'll be able to put on that tab in whatever order you want. And then if you choose a ton of stuff to put on there, then you have to wait for the ton of stuff to get done, to get downloaded to you. Part of the reason why we did the separate tabs was to increase the speed of the system. We could paint really quickly and get that details going. And when you click the other tab, we just take a few seconds to paint that one because that's when we go get the data. If you put it all on one tab, you got to wait till all the data is collected. So, but that's what we're thinking of doing. And that way you can have a custom tab of your own. So let me know whether you think that's a good idea or not. Gosh.
I didn't realize that we're from the South.
Yeah, it came out. I don't know why it came out, but it came out. Must be getting hard.
Well, I mean, you do work like 14-hour days.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next question comes from Karen. She wants to know, I am a night owl, a very bad one. A while back, I could use the chat function to speak with a helper, but in the past at least 3, maybe 6 months, I can no longer reach a helper in the middle of the night.
That's right.
I always assumed that people who were available where I am, Central Time, were in another country where it was not the middle of the night. Do we no longer have helpers who work in the middle of the night?
That's right. We no longer have helpers that work in the middle of the night. And the reason why is we've segmented those who are volunteers and helping us in providing support. And yes, it was true. When it got nighttime here, we actually flipped the phones over to Australia, and there were people in Australia that were helping you. But now instead, they've reorganized the support organization, and they've created multiple centers of support. And those people are only on, and they only service their area, and they're on during their normal day. So some of those in Australia would have to get up early, and then some in another country would have to stay late so that they're on all the time, and for everybody all across the world. So instead, they recently did it about 6 months ago, where they rearranged support and they broke them into 3 or 4 centers across the whole world, and they only service their world. That way, it gets the people that know most about Australian things, for instance, are helping Australian users, and people in Asia are helping the Asian users, and because they're most familiar with the issues, they understand what they're talking about when they talk about some of their concerns, and so we felt like it gave a better service to the people to do that. But unfortunately, because of that, the middle of the night, you're not going to get anybody.
Those late night owls.
Yeah.
I'm one of them.
Yeah.
we don't get support.
Yeah, you won't get it.
All right. Karen, I'm assuming it's probably the same Karen.
You'll have to rely on email. Send them a post them a case, and then answer back.
Okay. When you pull up the tasks from the app, is there a way to start with the most recent task rather than the oldest person, or the most recent name or task rather than the oldest person on the list? I have people that are having difficulty with the task because there's so little documentation available for names in the 1700s and early 1800s.
Yeah, send that one to me. That's reasonable. They could sort it the other direction.
Okay.
That's on the mobile app, by the way, for people. That's the Ancestors with Tasks on the mobile app. And he's wanting it so that the closest person is the top of the list.
Or you could custom sort it so you can go one way or the other.
I don't know how you'd sort it.
You could
the only way
say
you'd be able to sort it is by
most recent or oldest.
By birth date or by.
I want everybody that has the initials T.
Yeah, well, probably not. Okay.
Okay, James wants to know, when a person reserves ordinances, say a baptism and confirmation, and then shares the remainder of the ordinances with a temple, is there a way for a relative of the reserved name to request the name without requiring the person who originally reserved the name to take it back from the temple and then share it with that relative?
Yeah. So let me repeat a little bit. So we had a person that had BCIE, and then they went and did the BC, and then they shared the IE with the temple. And he's wanting to know, is there a way to get that IE off so that they can put it on their reservation list? And the answer is no, although, if you call support, if you're a close enough relative, it's like your father or your grandfather, then they may do that for you. But you're not going to have to worry about it. Because remember, we're working on revamping all reservations and how they work. And one of the things we're going to do is we're going to allow people to take any ordinances off of the temple reservation list and put them on their own personal list to go do. Now, I've said this before, so I need to say it every time I state this, is if you take it off the temple reservation, the temple file list, you put it on your list, you're going to have a clock. You're only going to have like 90 days to get those ordinances done. Because the people who shared it, there's an expectation that it's going to get done when it gets pulled. When you pull it, then we're going to give you 90 days to get that done. If you don't get it done in 90 days, we're going to put it back in the temple file list in its original place, so it doesn't lose its place in line. So just hang on, and in another, I don't know, it'll probably be before middle of the year next year or so, you'll be able to just wander the tree, and if this is something that's shared with the temple, it won't matter. You just grab it and put it on your list and go do it. Other than that, your result now is just keep begging the person or call support and see if they're willing to do it because you're a close enough relative.
Okay.
Okay.
James also wants to know, does the new app that finds names for you to take to the temple from your reserve list, and if there are none, does it look at relatives that need work? Take those additional names from the temple reserve names of your relatives.
Say that
That is,
again.
like, the
That
most
doesn't make
confusing
sense.
thing. Okay, does the app that finds names for you
That's Ordinances Ready.
take to the temple from your reserve list? And if there are none, does it then look at relatives that need work? Take those additional names from the temple reserve names list of your relatives.
Okay, so he's just asking how does it go? How does Ordinance Ready try to find things? So I'll repeat it again. I repeat it. We didn't go all the way through it earlier, but I've done it before.
Mhm.
So Ordinance Ready. I probably should write this down. Can you grab the board?
No.
It's kind of behind you. You didn't set it up very well.
Well, I didn't know. You haven't used it the last
I know.
3 times.
I know. This is a special time. Let me just write on. Oh, gosh.
Can you open the pen? Do you need help? You got like weak in your old age?
Yeah.
Can't even open a marker?
My day is long. So that's why. 1, 2, I'm going to write this down so it's easy. I can say it, but it's easier if you see it too.
Shared.
Okay. All right. So here goes. Here's the order for Ordinances Ready. This is how it does. First, it looks on your reservation list. So you're correct. If you say, I want 5 baptisms, confirmation, we try to find you 5. If you got 5 baptisms, confirmations on your reservation list, we'll just give you those 5 back and you can just print them again, right? If you haven't already printed them. If we don't have enough to fulfill the request from this list, then we look at this next thing. What you shared with the temple. So if you shared, let's say baptism confirmation, let's say you didn't have any from your reservation list, but you shared 5 or so from your reservation list to the temple, we'll just pull those 5 back and we'll give them to you from Ordinances Ready. If we can't find enough to fulfill the request, we're trying to find 5 baptisms and 5 confirmations, then we'll look from your tree. So we'll walk up your tree, certain number of generations and down, trying to find a green temple that's in the tree and give you from that. So that's what Ordinances Ready does today. In the future, we're going to add related names, related from the temple file. So that means somebody else shared it to the temple, but you're related, then we'll take it off the temple list and give it to you to get done. That's the one that's going to take you only get 90 days to get done. And if we can't find a related, meaning related within the minimal number of generations we look at, then we'll just give you one straight off the temple file. You may be related to this one as well, but we're not specifically looking that deep in the tree to see if we can find a related name. Now, there will be more things. There will be more happening in this area or in between these two. We're going to add more things as we develop it. But we've talked before about family reservation lists and things like that. So when that happens, we'll add family reservation lists to that set that Ordinances Ready looks at. So there it is. And it was written down, and you can read it while I'm speaking,
Choke.
so that my words don't come out.
Beautiful.
My words don't come out good. At least you can see it. Let's see.
Dramatic pause. Sorry, guys. I was gonna talk, but then I was like, oh, then I'll just make him confused because that's just what
Dramatic
happens.
pause. Oh, that's while I was writing.
Yes.
And yeah, so here's one. Barbara says Ordinances Ready's maximum number of things. Oh yeah, BCs that gives you 5 is what it tries to do. I's it tries to give you actually initiatories. It tries to give you 5. Endowment 1, sealing the spouse 5, and 10 sealing the parents. That's correct. Yeah, thank you, Barbara, for posting that. So yeah, that's the time. That's the number we try to give you. If we can't find it in all of those lists, if we can't, and we go through all the way through that list, of course, when we're getting it from the temple, we'll probably find some. But if we don't have that yet, that's coming. So if we can't satisfy it, we'll give you whatever we have. So if we can't get 5, we'll give you 3 or 4, whatever, however many we found. So.
Okay. Sorry, I just thought I would write this down. Maybe somebody would like to know this information. Okay. I think we probably have room for maybe like 2.
One or 2, yeah, depending on how hard.
Okay. Alexis wants to know, I'm starting to do research on my family and they were all born in Vietnam. Do you know of any upcoming records that may be available to help me with my research?
Yeah, we don't have much, but we are there in Vietnam trying to negotiate to get some record collections. I have no information on how well it's going and if they plan to have any soon, but I know that they are speaking to record facilities, government and things.
They're like in negotiations.
Yeah,
with them.
well, they're visiting with them and talking to them about it. And, we offer, what we do, because we're a family church and we're nonprofit, we go in and say, hey, we'll image all of your records for you for free, as long as you let us share it with people on Family Church. And then we'll preserve it forever. And if you ever lose those records, we'll give you a hard drive with all the records on it. And so, boy, when you can't beat that deal for free. And so most places are very willing to do that. So I'm hopeful. But yeah, we don't really have anything or anything at all or much in Vietnam. Although we have saints in Vietnamese and saints in Vietnam that are working on their genealogy.
So stay tuned.
Yeah. Let's hope they can strike a
Hopefully
deal and then we can start imaging and stuff
they
like
can
that.
get that to work out.
Let's see. Warren says another issue with the current format is sections of the connect part of Family Search are mixed in between the detailed information. So you are endlessly scrolling up and down through the detailed page. This is very hard for our older members. I don't know what you mean by connect part. They don't understand. They are looking at a virtual page that is larger than what they are actually looking at. Well, that is a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to say it's kind of like Facebook page. I imagine they probably all have used Facebook pages for get their grandkids or something. Help them realize you just scroll down forever. It's much better to group the tactical information together, which is the vitals and family member sections. The life sketch and other information should be grouped together. Okay.
All right. Last one is
We'll
from
see.
Debbie. So she says this is more of a comment than a question.
Well, that's going to be easy to answer.
A few weeks ago, Family Search changed some things on Family Tree. I've lost track of what. But afterward, a lot of my memories ended up being attached to incorrect people. For example, some pictures of my grandfather, Charles Henry, ended up with the name of his son, Charles Howard. I changed them back, but I was curious. The changelog didn't show any of the changes from when they were originally entered.
The change log on a person wouldn't have anything about memories.
Okay.
It'll know that a picture was attached and it may show that, but it doesn't track changes of the tag name of the person in the picture. Is that what she was talking about? In her app gallery.
No, you're reading the wrong one, this one. So it says, I've lost track of it, but afterwards all of our memories ended up being attached to the wrong people.
Yeah, the only way that memories would, if you had memories on a person and then you came back and it looked like a different person, was somebody changed the person. or somebody merged two people together.
Mm.
So there's not enough information there for me to detect what's going on, but nobody can change your memory stuff at the moment. If you have a tag on a person in that name, then nobody can change that name. And so I would recommend going back and looking at the change log and see if there was a merge that occurred where it merged two people and they kept the name of the other person. And so that's why it looked like the name changed on the page.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. If that's not it, then whoever that is,
Debbie.
Debbie needs to send me an email, ron@familysearch.org,
Okay.
and tell me the details.
The deets.
Or you can also contact support and send in a case and stuff like that for it too.
Okay. And the next question comes from Pam. I think this is going to be your last one for the night.
Yeah, probably will be.
With the change to the app gallery to solutions gallery, we seem to have lost many apps that have been helpful in analyzing missing records, i.e. find a record and engaging users, all stories, ancestor guru. Is there a chance that they're going to be functional again, or that Family Search may be introducing something more comparable?
This is something that we talked
addressed
about
at the beginning.
Yeah, find a record and what's the other one?
All my stories, ancestor guru.
Right. So we announce change. We don't change things on our site lightly. And when we make changes to the interfaces, the programming interfaces, we give all of our customers 90 days. We tell them about it in advance. If they tell us that it's particularly hard for them, we usually give them 6 months advance notice that we're making changes on the APIs, the application programming interface. And when that 6 months comes up or that 3 months comes up, we change our interfaces and the old APIs don't work anymore. And so these partners have chosen that it was either too much work to make the changes, or they weren't interested in make the changes, or they're still working on the changes. So that's purely in their hands and under their control because they need to make those changes. And we didn't break them. We knew it was going to break them, but we told them many, many months in advance that it's going to break them and gave them an opportunity to make those changes. And we asked them, we often ask, do you need 3 months? Do you need 6 months? What do you need? And they tell us, and we say, okay, we'll give you that much time before we turn it off. So you need to work with them to see if they can hurry up, make their changes. I know some have put some messages on their screens, but I think you need to understand clearly that we notify them at least 3 months in advance, often 6 months in advance before we make those changes, to give them time to make their code, because we know they have to write some code, and it's not stuff they were necessarily planning on doing.
Right.
Because they were going to have their own features, right?
Right.
Okay, so we have a couple minutes, so I'll answer some of the questions that came out on Facebook. Janelle, I guess would be. Janelle
nice.
says that I'm doing an activity this month on sharing your recipe story. I've seen videos of recipe stories. How do I submit those videos? You cannot submit those videos to Family Search, Family Tree, because we don't accept videos.
Mm-mm.
And the way they were doing it when they were into the recipes a few Roots Techs ago is they actually they had a page in Facebook or it was a Pinterest.
It was a site.
It was a Pinterest site page.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have to dig around and see if you can find it. I don't know where it is right now. I'm sorry.
Maybe I can reach out.
When we're done here, maybe we'll look and see if I can find
Wendy and see if she knows.
Next, Barbara says, when you add a 1940 U.S. Census using a search engine, it puts same house in the wrong spot. Did I write it correct? Did I write that correctly? What do you mean by wrong spot? It probably puts same house as the place when you do residence. And the problem is the census taker put same house. They didn't want to write the address again, so they wrote same house in the record. And so the indexers, appropriately so when they said, what's the address of this line, they wrote same house. So you have to kind of go back and fix that if you want, because that's what was indexed. And so that's what automatically gets shoved over when you put in that residence. I didn't used to do that. I like changes, but this is a bug that I've noticed. Barbara Fox. Oh, the same house. It seems to be a new feature. Hey, yeah. Started with a new interface. Okay.
I noticed today, I was going to point this out.
Oh, there are family recipes. What
I
is
don't
that?
know if you can submit to the. This is on their Pinterest page, but I don't know if you can submit to that. You have to be a contributor. I can reach out to Wendy and see.
Yeah,
what she
we'll go
knows
look
about
and
it.
see what page you could go to have people put in their recipes. But remember, it's not in FamilySearch.org. It's not in Memories, and it's not being preserved. So this is just a Pinterest page they did. So it's all stored in Pinterest.
Yeah.
I mean, you can certainly upload your recipes and put them in the Memories and attach them to your ancestor who was the originator or the most known person that did that recipe. And you can put it in there, but there's no videos. And since you're probably going to ask, why don't we do videos? Because other places do. And that's because we're part of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And because of that, we have to be very careful about what kind of video material is placed on the site. And we continue to try to figure out how we could do videos at an effective cost, because we're not profit-making things. We don't make money. Everything's free that we can, and saints in the LDS in the church help pay for this by their tithing. And so we're trying to be very careful in how we use that money. And it's expensive to have somebody sit and watch videos and pay them hourly wages to watch videos all day long, just to tell us this one's no good, this one's no good, this one's good, this one's good. And that's just too expensive, because we would have too many submitted and it would just cost too much. So we keep trying to figure out a way to do it through computers and automated and through, like Google Photos can detect faces and stuff like that. We've tested all that, but it's just not, it doesn't do well enough to consider doing videos. All righty, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us.
Okay, I had one person ask.
Okay.
Remember we were talking about this right before we started, that you didn't show up on the Roots Tech schedule. However, you told me that you're doing 2 sessions.
Yeah, I'm surprised that I'm not on the Roots Tech schedule, but I am.
But
I'm
you're
going to be
doing 2
doing. I'm going to doing my standard futures thing, and we're going to have 2 sessions.
Okay.
They promised me a bigger room.
Do we know what you probably don't know?
I don't know the
dates
day. I don't know the days.
Okay.
I'm going to do it twice. One will be strictly public content, and then the other one will actually have a member section in it where I'll talk about these temple things and this Ordinance Ready and stuff like that,
Okay.
and all those changes coming along. And we allow anybody to attend any session, but if a person's not interested in hearing that, then they need to come to the session that's not for members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So.
Okay. Second of all, I guess we should say the next live is going to be next Thursday. We're doing this.
We're doing this back to back
Because.
Mommy,
Oh, hi! You
Mom,
scared me.
you need to give me a new Band-Aid on my alley.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm
we'll get a
almost
new
done, and
Band-Aid.
then I'll come do it.
We're
Okay.
being almost done.
Okay.
You just stand there and wait for a minute.
Thank you. We're doing them back to back because the last week of October, or the following week of October, he has 4 presentations in 3 days
Yeah, in
Something-
2 different conferences.
in 2 different conferences. So we will post about the ones that are open to the public and free. If you want to come to them, you're more than welcome to. But we wanted to make sure that he had a week where we weren't doing a live so that he didn't have to stress about it, so that he could get those slides done and ready for those conferences. And then we'll pick back up in November,
Yeah.
so that he has a minute to
Breathe.
collect himself, because he works like a crazy person. So
You
we
love
will.
the work, you do it.
That's
So,
right. So we will post about that, and I'll try to get information for you guys this week about where you can get tickets and when they're being held and whatnot. But yeah. Oh, Amy found the link. FamilySearch.org/recipes
Oh, there you go.
is where you can upload-
FamilySearch.org/recipes. There
where
it
you
is.
can upload your
I'm gonna go click on that.
family
Can I click on
recipes.
that?
Yes, you can.
We'll take a look at that real quick. Save your family story. It has a little video. You can click to add a recipe story. These aren't videos, but they have a picture along with.
It's like
it's like a story, so you have a
Pinterest
picture
page.
with text.
Cool. Thank you for sharing
But
that.
it won't
Amy.
accept videos, but thanks for finding that.
Oh, look,
there-
she
oh,
even
she
found
says-
it. Let's see. So she says, Roots Tech, he's speaking Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. What's new on Family Search? And then Thursday again.
9:30 a.m. What's new on Family
Family
Search
Search
for members
for-
of the church?
And then I guess you're doing it on
Oh,
Saturday
I guess
at
I'm doing it on
3.
Saturday also. I guess I'm doing 3 of them.
But
on
that's
Saturday
a
at 3 p.m.
that's a repeat of the Thursday class.
Yeah,
so
okay.
the members class is being done twice.
Okay. She also posted a URL to the
Your search.
Roots Tech place to filter on the my schedule.
So,
Ron's doing stuff.
They still will not allow us to do live.
By the way, one of them will be broadcasted.
Okay. We're
So
not
I'm
allowed
gonna
to
be-
do
I'm going to be video and broadcast live.
we're not allowed to do live streaming of his presentation.
But that's okay. It's not necessary because they're going to
So
do
one
it.
of them is going to be broadcast. We can see if we can maybe do like his pre stuff, and maybe we can
I don't know.
do
We'll have
like
to
a
see.
little interview with you in between sessions.
Maybe.
But we'll work on that as we get closer to Roots Tech, since we're like 5 months away. So have a good rest of your week. We will see you next Thursday.
That's right. Next Thursday, same time.
Same time,
Thanks
same
for
place.
joining us.
Same bat channel.
Yeah. Talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
See you.